180 AD in Germania, soldiers are preparing for war. General Maximus is greeted by his soldiers when he walks past them. The Germanic tribes are unwilling to surrender and send back their messenger without a head. Maximus orders his men to go all out on his signal. The soldiers prepare the catapults and set up formation for the battle. Maximus goes to the cavalry to make a great speech to hype them up. They started firing everything they got when they saw the signal, which wiped out much of the Germanic. The infantry soldiers slowly walked closer into the battlefield in formation, and the Germanics started their attack by rushing into the infantry soldiers to break their formation. The cavalry charges to hit the Germanic in the rear. The Germanic are getting smoked by the Romans, but Maximus is knocked off his horse and has to fend for himself. The battle is chaotic, but the Romans can win the war. Commodus is on his way to the battlefield, but he is nervous because he doesn't know why he's called there, and Marcia tells him to chill out. He plans to honor him with games worthy of his majesty when he's king. They all bow before him when he leaves the carriage and he rides to the battlefield. Marcus Aurelius wonders what Maximus wants after leading the soldiers to victory, but all Maximus wants is to go home. Commodus arrives at the battlefield to see the soldiers cheering, but he ruins the cheers because he's jealous of Maximus's success. He tries to lead Marcus back, but Marcus plans to go back himself while Maximus helps him on the horse. Maximus finds it hard to look at the injured soldiers and goes to talk with his buddies. Commodus interrupts with senators and they try to see where Maximus stands on governance of Rome. Maximus gives a vague answer and Commodus wants Maximus on his side because he doesn't like the senators, but Maximus dodges the question. Marcus visits his daughter Lucilla, who is spying on Maximus, and he wants Lucilla to assist Commodus because his time is almost up. The next morning Maximus sees Commodus training and goes to Marcus because he wants to talk to him. Before Maximus can go home, Marcus wants Maximus to become the protector of Rome once he dies by giving him the power. Marcus wants Maximus to do it because he declined the order and he hasn't been corrupted like the others. He knows Commodus isn't fit to lead and hopes Maximus will agree to his offer. Maximus goes out to think and runs into Lucilla, who wants to know what they are talking about. She wonders if he would be loyal to Commodus like to Marcus, but he's only loyal to Rome. Maximus leaves after their talk and prays to God for his family because he knows he's not going home anytime soon. Marcus calls Commodus in to inform him that Maximus will become the emperor until he can cleanse the corrupted politicians so Rome can become a republic once more. Commodus is dissatisfied because he always tries to make Marcus proud of him. Marcus feels like he wronged him because he should have raised him right. Out of jealousy, Commodus suffocates Marcus to end him. Soldiers wake up Maximus to inform him about Marcus's death and they bring him to see Marcus. Commodus demands Maximus to swear loyalty to him, but he ignores him to go back because he knows Commodus killed him for the throne. Quintus calls the legionnaires to arrest Maximus because he's not on their side and plans to execute him and his family too. Lucilla slaps Commodus, but she's willing to be loyal to him. They bring Maximus to the battlefield to execute him, but Maximus takes over and ends the two executioners. One of the legionnaires dies by a throwing sword and Maximus slays the last one in a face-off. He takes the horses to escape and slowly loses consciousness from the wound. He woke up and started riding faster when he felt like his family was in danger. When he arrived home, he found it all burnt and was grieving for his family who was hung for Maximus's disloyalty. He passes out after burying his family, but somebody finds him and captures him. Juba cleans his wounds and patches him up because Maximus will become a fighter. Omid, a slave trader, sells Maximus and Juba to Proximo because he needs fighters for an upcoming game. Hagen tests out the new slaves to see if they are worthy to become gladiators and categorizes them. Maximus is called up to be tested, but he isn't willing to participate in the testing. Proximo ends his testing because he knows his time will come. Juba talks with the other slaves until Hagen comes along to spoil the mood. They will have to fight to gain their freedom until there isn't anyone else to fight, and Hagen is determined to gain his freedom. The slaves are getting coated with red dye to get the gods' favor, and Proximo makes bets with the other owners on who's going to survive. Proximo encourages his slaves to fight because when they go out there, they are forced to fight for their lives. They are all chained up in pairs to prepare for the death battle, and some of them are scared shitless. Hagen comes out guns blazing, but his partner dies and he frees himself to continue the fight. Maximus and Juba are paired up together and they are just wrecking the other gladiators with their teamwork. Once the gladiators are eliminated, the crowd cheers for the victors. Commodus arrives back to Rome, but the people do not welcome him to become their ruler. A grand ceremony awaits for Commodus, the next emperor, but the senators doesn't think Commodus is fit to be the ruler. The senators greet their new emperor and they go to the Senate floor to address the problems Rome has. Commodus shushes Gracchus because he doesn't believe the senators are working for the people. After all, the senators are living lavishly and Commodus spews his BS. Gracchus interrupts him and Lucilla has to step in before Commodus says something he shouldn't. Commodus is sulking that the senators are lecturing him because he believes they should rule Rome alone. He doesn't know why the people loved Marcus so much and Lucilla thinks they care about the greatness of Rome's vision. Commodus plans to give the people the vision and expects them to love him for it to forget about the senators. The senators see what Commodus is up to and Gracchus thinks the people will love the entertainment of the death games. Maximus is preparing to fight at a smaller Colosseum but Proximo wants Maximus to entertain the crowd so they will keep coming back. Maximus comes out and starts wrecking all of the other gladiators. After smoking all of them he showboats to get the crowd hyped up. Proximo calls for Maximus after the battle because he wants Maximus to be magnificent but Maximus is only required to kill so he does with the least effort. Commodus wants to commemorate Marcus Aurelius but it's funny because Marcus shut down the spectacles. Proximo wants to get back to the Colosseum where he belongs because he was once a gladiator who got his freedom for winning the games. Maximus will give the people a show because he wants to stand before the emperor and is willing to learn from Proximo to gain his freedom. Proximo is excited Maximus is on board to enjoy the adventure to gain his freedom. Juba misses his family but he doesn't think they will reunite until his death and see each other in the afterlife. Maximus tells him his family is already waiting for him but his time has not come. They travel to the capital and they are all mesmerized by the Colosseum. Commodus is acting like a P-word watching Lucius sleep and Lucilla prepares his tonic. He wants to disband the Senate but Lucilla tells him to sleep on it. Commodus wants Lucilla to accompany him but she won't and kisses him to fulfill his order. In the middle of the night, Lucilla meets with some of the senators to vent about Commodus's tyranny and his spies within the Senate. Gracchus bashes Commodus's leadership because he's neglecting his duty to the people and worries about the games. The games are bankrupting Rome and Commodus is bankrolling the games with Rome's future income, which could lead to Rome's downfall in 2 years. Lucilla is afraid for her son's life and wants to end Commodus. Gracchus doesn't think it's a good idea because they must wait and strike when the time is right. Viewers are placing bets and the city guards are restraining the ladies because they are throwing themselves at the gladiators. Proximo doesn't want to sacrifice his best fighters for pennies but Cassius isn't willing to budge because he doesn't mind canceling the contract. Lucius will cheer for Maximus because he likes him and Maximus finds out about Lucius's status. The gladiators prepare for the games and someone tells them the rules before they are sent to the death battle. They salute Commodus when he arrives and Cassius announces the recreation of the Battle of Carthage. Maximus wants the gladiators to work with him together to survive this battle and Cassius lets out their opponents. Maximus wants them to stay together but they are getting picked off one by one for not listening. After a couple of deaths, most of them listen while the others get picked off. They flip a chariot and start picking off the soldiers which assists them in winning the battle once the chariots are destroyed. Maximus gets on a horse and starts showing his skills. The others take over the rest of the chariots and end the opponents. Commodus is puzzled about the outcome but wants to meet the leader while the crowd cheers for their victory. The army surrounds them so Commodus can meet with the leader. Maximus gives up on ending Commodus because Lucius came along. Commodus finds out the leader is Maximus and vows to get his vengeance. Commodus wants to end them but the crowd wants the gladiators to fight another day and Commodus is forced to relent. The crowd and gladiators cheer for Maximus's victory. Commodus visits his father to vent his anger and acts like a little wussy. He's pissed Maximus is still alive because he was lied to and he tries to get Lucilla's approval that he did the right thing. Lucilla suggests to punish the liars and he thinks about it. City guards take Maximus to see Lucilla because she wants his help. Maximus doesn't trust her until she tells him she fears Commodus might do something to Lucius. She wants Maximus to help but he doesn't want to help because of what Commodus did to his family and leaves. Commodus ties up the soldiers who lied to him and Quintus tries to save their lives. The bowman takes aim while Commodus forces Quintus to give the command to end the liars and he orders the bowman to shoot. When the gladiators are having a meal, Hagen asks Maximus about his victories. Before Maximus eats his food Hagen tests it for poison and starts trolling them. They start announcing the next match and they start giving bread out to the spectators. For the final match, they brought back Tigris, an undefeated winner 5 years ago and the crowd went wild. Maximus comes out while doing his pre-ritual and the crowd cheers even louder. Before they start the battle, Maximus notices people coming into the stadium. Every time Tigris knocks Maximus down the people let out a tiger to attack but Maximus can avoid its attack. The tigers try to free themselves and get closer to the gladiators. A tiger latches onto Maximus but he can break free from it and knock out the axe Tigris is holding. The people loosen the restraint but Maximus can eliminate the tiger. Maximus can use his axe to hold him still to down Tigris. Commodus is disappointed in the outcome and tries to get Maximum to end Tigris but Maximus spares him. The soldiers surround Maximus again because Commodus comes onto the stage. Commodus tries to trigger Maximus by telling him what they did to his family, but Maximus doesn't fall for the bait and leaves. Maximus sees Cicero and he gives Maximus a pouch with statues of his family. Commodus is in a dilemma because he can't outright kill Maximus. After all, the people love him, and he's surprised the senators didn't protest against using the grain reserve to fund the games. Falco consoles him and thinks someone is scheming behind his back. Lucilla hears them talking about smoking out the schemers. During sparring, Maximus speaks to Cicero about the soldiers at Ostia and how they are ready for an upcoming battle. Maximus wants Cicero to tell Lucilla that he is willing to meet with the senators. They meet up and Maximus wants Gracchus to sneak him out so he can ride to Ostia to bring his men for a coup d'état. Lucilla doesn't think that would work because they have new commanders, but Maximus believes the soldiers are loyal to him. Gracchus doesn't want to trade one dictatorship for another, but Maximus is only doing it for Marcus because it was his dying wish. In 2 days he will free Maximus, but if Maximus fails, he is done for. Proximo doesn't think the plan will work because he spotted spies watching them. Maximus wants Proximo to trust him because Commodus killed the men who set him free. Lucilla sees Falco socializing with other senators while Gracchus gets arrested. Commodus wonders where Lucilla went because he thinks Gracchus is a cancer in the Senate. He wants to R-word her but decides not to and expresses his feelings for her. Lucilla leaves when Commodus fell asleep and visits Maximus to speed up the escape plan because Gracchus has been arrested. She expresses how she still loves him because it helped her not feel alone when they were together and they started making out. Lucius wakes up Commodus when he pretends to be a gladiator and triggers Commodus because he wants to be like Maximus the Savior. Commodus finds out who told him and Lucilla finds them reading about history. He knows Lucilla betrayed him and threatens her indirectly if she doesn't tell him their plan. Assassins were sent to end Gaius and they used a poisonous snake to do so. The city guards march to where the gladiators are staying to apprehend Maximus. Proximo disregards the city guards to free the gladiators. Maximus lets his fellow men choose if they want to defend or hide, and they all are willing to sacrifice themselves for the cause. They attack the city guards while Maximus finds the opportunity to escape. Proximo is taken down for disobeying orders while the gladiators are getting slaughtered. Maximus sees Cicero, but when he calls for Cicero, he is shot down when Maximus tries to keep him alive. Maximus is surrounded and Falco tells Commodus about the successful operation. Commodus tells Lucilla to give him a pureblood heir and to be loyal to him, otherwise Lucius will die. The crowd is cheering for Maximus for the final games and Maximus calls Quintus a coward who won't stand for nothing. Commodus wants to end Maximus himself on the stage and stabs him to get the advantage during their battle. They conceal his wound with body armor and get sent to the stage. The legionnaires form a ring formation to set the stage while Commodus does his battle ritual. They start to fight once Maximus picks up his sword. They are evenly matched even though Commodus has a handicap, but Maximus can knock him on his ass. Commodus can get back up to land a hit on his leg. Maximus comes back by injuring his dominant arm. Commodus asks Quintus and the legionnaires for a sword when Maximus is losing consciousness and starts seeing the afterlife. Quintus gains his backbone by ordering his men to sheath their swords and watches the battle play out. Commodus pulls out a hidden knife to attack Maximus, but Maximus can dodge and beat his ass. Maximus gains control of the knife to end Commodus for revenge for everything he has done to him. The crowd is silent after the win while Maximus enters into the afterlife. Quintus snaps him out of it and Maximus tells him to free his men and Gracchus to be reinstated to the Senate because these were the wishes of Marcus. Lucilla sends Maximus to the afterlife and he finds his family waiting for him there. She orders Gracchus to honor Maximus for his sacrifice to Rome and they help carry him out. Juba buries Maximus's family statues and plans to see him again, but not yet. Well, that's it for Gladiator. If you got up to this far, here are other recaps you might like. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.